This is David Bateson, a.k.a. Agent 47, confirming the infiltration of JumpCut Play. I strongly encourage you to visit this site. Wait, they gave Hitman 3 a 9 instead of a 10 in their review? Investigating reviewer. Target acquired.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the JumpCut Play YouTube channel. I hope you've had a fantastic week, and we're back again. It's me, Sam, today to talk about my second Game of the Year pick, and of course, for me, it has to be IO Interactive's Hitman 3. Also, slightly different change to the setup. We get to see even more of my student accommodation. But yeah, Hitman 3 is just one of those games where it's an absolute ode to the imagination of the player. It allows you to truly realise situations and scenarios that just can only happen in a Hitman game. And while the initial approach with Hitman is initially to stealth it, and it is a stealth genre game at its core, the best thing about these games is that it really does allow you to do it how you want to. And I know it's been said 1,000,000,001 times at this point, but it's true. These levels are designed with such meticulous detail that you can figure out in the head like your own way how you want to play these games, and that's where they really begin to shine. Over the course of this World of Assassination trilogy, we've seen the kind of ebbs and flows of how the Hitman formula has differed since the last couple of times we've seen it. And when we had Hitman Blood Money, which is pretty much like the apex of the franchise, like they perfected it there. And then Hitman Absolution, which was pretty dog shit to be fair. But then Hitman, like just Hitman as they branded it when it came out in 2016, it's really took some time to get to this like level of quality, because initially when they were going to do like the episodic releases, first part of this trilogy, I was a bit dubious as to why you do that, just let's have a game. But all that content has paid off, because in Hitman 3 not only do you get the new story and the new locales in that game, you get the locales from the other games too, and it's this big collective sandbox of just assassination carnage. Each level just has like seemingly infinite possibilities of how you can carry out a kill, and even if you don't want to play by the game's rules by following the different story beats that you can follow or the different kind of clues of how to do an assassination a certain way, it's fun fucking about in this game, getting it wrong, getting into the scenarios where you're in a gunfight and you know you'll take 3 shots and die, and figuring out how to get out of them, figuring out how to complete the mission, how to rectify the mistake. There's just something about the brand of chaos within Hitman games that's just really unrivaled, and this has always stemmed back to the earlier ones, even as far back as like when it leaped onto the PS2 with Assassin. That brand of panic that you feel when you get caught or when you're trying to do the objective and everything goes south. It's just so unique to this franchise, and it's really enthralling when you're playing it. Not only does Hitman 3 bring together the best quality of these games in a gameplay sense, but it also bolsters it better in a story sense too. There's beats in this that feel very influenced by modern day blockbusters. I mean, the opening mission is like straight out of Mission Impossible, and I think by having this more propelled sense of momentum across the narrative, it really helps Hitman 3 sell the world that it's within. We've seen bits of Agent 47's world before, we've seen it more explored probably in Silent Assassin, where you get to see the kind of vulnerable sides of the character, even though he's like a clone that's supposed to have no emotions supposedly. But you see it explored, and I like, Hitman 3, not only does it explore him as a character in his kind of ideologies, but it explores the outer and inner workings of the assassination kind of society, if you will. It goes without saying, this game looks absolutely stunning. It's one of the first PlayStation 5 games I got to play. It looks fucking flawless. It does. There's not really much else that can be said about it. Like, you've heard every adjective and way of describing how these games look by now, and Hitman 3 is worthy of all that praise. The way it feels to play as well, I swear to God, like the way the adaptive triggers are used with the PS5 remote is still probably one of the most, if not the most satisfying use of it on the PlayStation 5 so far. When you squeeze the trigger on the silver ball, you can feel that click of the mechanism of the trigger in the gun. You can feel that weight, and it feels satisfying. And at the core of it all, it's obviously all tied together by David Bateson's performance as Agent 47, and again, the veteran of the franchise by now. He just, there's something about the way he plays it. It's just so iconic now that you're just so used to it, but every time you see him appear in these new games, there's something fresh and captivating about his performance.
What are the challenges then to trying to convey slight emotions in somebody that's supposed to be sort of emotionless?
Yeah, well, there's an extra element to this. Agent 47 is a very well. It's not very. He's a crap actor. I mean, let's face it.
Hitman 3 has immense replayability as well, much more than the other titles, I think, and I think that's largely in part because you've got all the content, if you're lucky enough to have the other installments all in one package now. It's a huge game with lots of sandbox environments to explore, and you've got all the mastery system on top of that. There's so much to go back and do. Hitman 3 is one of the true like next-gen titles that's worthy of that like coveted next-gen praise. It really is, and if you haven't played it already, I highly recommend picking it up. So those are my thoughts on Hitman 3. Have you played it? If so, just stick your comments down below or send us something over at Twitter at JumpCut_play. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. It does really go a long way. We've just surpassed 200 subscribers. Might not sound like a lot to you, but it's a hell of a lot to us. Thank you for your support. And most of all, have a great Christmas, and we'll see you in the new year.